Hey, YouTube. This is Gothic King of G in the video. There's a problem with our educational system. It's a system, if you will. There's flaws in it, okay? Here are the flaws. One, if you hate school, you have a hard time learning socially or mentally, you don't fit the system. So they shove you to the side because you're not perfect in their eyes. So you spend the rest of your life feeling like shit and feeling stupid because of it. Case in example, Albert Einstein's expression: if you judge a fish by how well it climbs a tree, it'll feel forever like live its life like it's stupid. Fish don't even climb trees; they swim. Judge a fish by how it swims, and it'll be a lot better off. So I grew up with Asperger's. I still have it. In a time where I wasn't even heard of, if you will, and I was held back in kindergarten a year, not because of I was ready to graduate kindergarten. I had the smarts. But socially, I wasn't ready. So they held me back a year because of my social awkwardness, which made me feel like I was stupid and pretty much ruined my educational system for the rest of my miserable existence on this crappy ass planet. You know? So they basically brainwash you to fit this mold, if you will, this corporate mold. Go to school, graduate from high school, go to college, get a 9-to-5 job, wear a suit, drive an expensive car, get a house with a white picket fence. Fuck that, alright? Anyone wants to be an individual or do their own fucking thing, it's kind of looked down upon like, you don't fit the system, error, error. They try to mold us into this corporate cube, if you will. And if you don't fit that mold, they try harder and harder and harder until they're just on the edge going, I fucking hate school. So how many of you hate school? Because I hated school because of this. And every assembly I go to in school, they have the rules, if you will, the rules that say, okay, dress code, girls, no cleavage. I look around the assembly, and every girl doesn't have boobs, doesn't wear cleavage, but every girl that does have boobs, there's cleavage everywhere, so they don't really enforce that rule. And, no harassment. Okay, we have a zero tolerance policy for harassment. You all have the right here to a harassment-free education. Bullshit. Okay, they didn't do shit about either one. Because when you think about it, they got a pile of homework this high on their desk. Some student comes in, teacher, so-and-so won't quit picking on me, and it's like, the teacher looks at the homework and goes, I'll deal with it later, and it just kind of shoves them to the side because, okay, and the reason why they probably get picked on is because they're different, because they don't learn as fast. Oh, why nerds get picked on is because of Josh never going to get anywhere in the world because they don't fit the mold of corporate smartness. They're going to be at fucking McDonald's rest of their life trying to get pussy. Well, the nerd's making shit tons of money, so they pick on the nerd now because they're jealous because that nerd fits the corporate mold and they don't. That's why they pick on them, obviously, because that's the only power they have over them until they get out of high school. And then the nerds make their boss. It's kind of how it works, yeah. But even after I was picked on for years and years, I still picked on this one kid. I fucking hated him. He was so obnoxious. Oh my god. And this kid tried so hard to be me and my Richard just pick on him constantly, and I got such a kick out of it. I enjoyed it so much. And he tried so hard to be me and Richard's friend, and we wouldn't have it. We just enjoyed picking on him. It was fun. Because for once, I wasn't the one being picked on, he was. And this kid was so fucking happy in a crappy-ass world we live in. It was just mind-boggling. Everything happened to this kid, almost just about, and he's still fucking happy. I don't understand that. And it annoyed the fuck out of me. So I did manage to make him cry and squirm like a little bitch he is. I enjoyed it. And he took a swing at me. He missed. And then I came up like, I'm about to kick your ass. And he's like, no, don't fucking hit me, no. He started cowering against the wall. I'm like, come on, bitch, bring it. Come on, you want to start something? Come on, bring it. And then at that point, the teacher walked out and said, what are you guys doing? I'm like, nothing. Get to class. Okay. I wish I would have kicked his ass for having that teacher. I would not give him a shit if the entire school would hate me for it. That kid annoyed the fuck out of me. I'm one of those people that if you get on my bad side, you're there for life, basically. Yeah. But, beside the point, okay? The flaws in our educational system can be avoided, but I've seen videos on YouTube about kids who have the similar disorder, you know, the ADHD or whatnot, and they struggle through school. But all the documentaries they make ain't gonna change shit. Teachers don't give a shit. They're brainwashed from their kids to fit the mold. If you don't fit the mold, you're shoved to the side like some piece of shit, outdated technology, garbage, error, you know what I'm saying? So, which leads me to believe that the people who do succeed in school, who do enjoy it, who do fit the mold, are going to raise their kids like that, to think like that, and if their kid doesn't fit the mold, and then the kid's feeling like the world has no use for them, which isn't true. So, an education is not everything, basically. Your education doesn't define you as a person. Your actions and your attitude towards life define you as a person. You could be the dumbest jackass in school, and if you have the biggest heart in the world, you're the nicest person in the world, you know, your fucking education won't matter shit. You know what I'm saying? So, if you are struggling in school, okay, the teachers are going to be like that, unfortunately. They're going to shove you to the side, you know. Go to the resource room. They can help you with your education so you're not struggling with it. And if kids give you shit for it, which they did to me, don't let it get to you because, you know, it's just life. I mean, they're assholes. I'm one of them, obviously. But if you let the assholes get to you, they win. Simple as that. So yeah, fuck the system. Chocolate's delicious. But, you can cope with stress, by the way. One of my biggest coping stresses is smoking tobacco because it releases dopamine in my brain, which shows what my brain lacks because of my Asperger's. And nicotine, I love it. I could take medication for the same effect, but, you know, I rather have cigarettes. They're cheaper than medication. As I do smoke a pipe, cigars, and cigarettes. But the failing educational system is a big one. Which kind of amuses me because, in these school assemblies, like I said, dress code, girls, no cleavage. You know, I look around the room and every girl that has boobs is wearing a cleavage shirt. The girls who are flat-chested aren't wearing shirts like that because they ain't nothing to show off. So it's like, okay, you say it, but you don't enforce it, per se. Because how would you like to be the principal has to enforce that rule? Miss So-and-so, could you come to the office, please? Yeah, I've noticed all day that your shirt's all showing your boobs off and shit, and it's a distraction to the guys around you who are trying to work, because let's face it, when you got a hormonally stressed out teenager guy who's trying to do algebra, and he sees Miss Thang over here wearing a miniskirt showing off her ass and her boobs, he's like, what's algebra? I don't know. So the principal wants to tell her off for it, and she goes home like, oh my god, so-and-so is such a perv, he was all checking me out, telling me to cover up. It's like, and then her mom goes to her extremist women rights activist group, and they bitch at the school and sue them for sexual harassment. It was a simple rule to follow, and there's a time and a place. When you're in school, people are trying to learn, okay, cover up. I mean, now if you're at lunch or in gym class, I mean if you're at lunch, per se, all you have to do is focus on eating, then that's not really an issue, I guess. But that's beside the point. Because in education, so then why do we have an education per se if it does all this horrible shit to us? To learn shit, to actually make something of ourselves. But for people who can't learn as fast as other people, that's kind of hard because the system says you don't fit the mold. We can't mold you into the perfect little corporate cube, so we're going to shove you to the side because we don't give a shit about you. And that attitude towards people like people who have Asperger's, ADHD, etc., etc., they grow up the rest of their lives feeling like shit and feeling stupid because of a couple subjects that they're not good at. You know? It's kind of sad, actually. Kind of amusing, actually. But, you know? So, because in the grander scale of it all, they don't have the time or the patience to deal with a couple students that can't learn. They want the students that pick up on the shit right away. That say, you know, that they get it, basically. So, and don't feel bad if you're in resource, because I was in a resource room majority of my school education, and that's really helped me learn. I didn't change my feeling, per se, of feeling stupid or useless, and kids still picked on me, but at least my education was a lot easier because I could figure shit out, you know? So yeah, don't let the assholes get to you. Just shove it back in their face, you know? Because quite honestly, if you don't fit the corporate cube molds, you're useless to the society, according to the system, if you will. Which is kind of sad because people like that have great potential to do amazing things. Because people with Asperger's obsess and they excel in certain areas. Like if they excel in science, they can find a cure for cancer. But the way you treat them in school, they think they're useless. They're blind to their full potential, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. Caffeine, another excellent stimulant to relax me. Caffeine and nicotine combined together are an amazing combination. I love it. But anyway, tell me what you think with the system. If you're having trouble with it in the system, you know, the school and whatnot, because quite frankly, We're taught at a young age. I mean, they practically force education down our throat from the time we're in the uterus. Stick a headphones with Beethoven and Mozart and Sebastian Bach and let their baby listen to it so their brain grows. Whatever happened to letting kids be kids, letting them color outside the lines, letting them make mistakes? But in this society, they expect you to be perfect all the fucking time, and that stress creates a lot of issues with people. And then they get picked on in school, and it just kind of piles on top of them, and that's not good for any one person's self-esteem, if you will. You know, I mean, it's like, you can't color outside the lines, that's not perfect, you don't fit the corporate cube or the mold here, you know. As soon as you're out of college, they're like, okay, get a job, a business suit, a haircut, and a suitcase, and a fancy-ass car, drive to work 9 to 5, and then drive home to your picket fence and your, 5 o'clock dinner with your perfect wife, and, and then a midlife crisis comes, and you realize you've done nothing. You've done the same stupid shit everyone's done for their entire life. You realize you've wasted half your life doing nothing, but doing what you're told to do, fitting the corporate cube. So in the midlife crisis, your cube's kind of crumbling. You're going, okay, what's going on here, So, yeah. And you can do anything you want to do in life. You don't have to have that 9 to 5 job if you don't want. You could be a musician. You could be an artist. You can be a fucking brain surgeon. If you put your mind to it, determination, you can do anything you want with your life, basically. You just gotta find the obstacles and overcome them. But if let the system tell you you're stupid, basically you're the fish trying to, it's like you judge a fish by how well it climbs a tree. It'll spend the rest of its life thinking it's stupid. That's an Albert Einstein quote. In fact, Albert Einstein was one of those kids that they thought he'd never amount to anything. They said he was stupid. He didn't fit the corporate cube, if you will. And he ended up being one of the smartest people in the universe. So, or in the world at least. I don't know about the universe. But, hopefully you understand my point. Because quite honestly, we have the potential to be a better society, but we continue to do shit that screws up and makes things worse for the people living in our society. It's just really sad. It really, really just mind boggles me, the sheer stupidity of our society. But I might be going to a job course soon. I'm not sure when. I'm getting the work filled out to be an auto body man. Because the plan is, if I do that, I can get my own shop and build custom cars for people, custom rods if you will, make a shit ton of money doing it, and then until my musical career takes off, at least, That means like 8 hours of hard-ass labor on car bodies and the job course setting, and then breaking for lunch, and then coming back to work, basically. And at least they're paying me to do it. And if I let me bring my tobacco supplies and my cell phone and iPod with me and a couple of books, and I'll be content at least. I only get to bring my guitar, obviously, but less YouTube videos whenever I come back to visit. And if I do bring my guitar, it's on the weekends when I don't have class, or work, I should say. If I qualify or not is the question. That's why I'm getting my paperwork filled out. I gotta finish my packet, get a drug screening, and wait to hear back from them. And the only job corps that I know of that has that is Utah, which is only a couple hours away, which is pretty convenient. So yeah, that'll give me a chance to learn how to be independent and get the tools necessary to have a structured career that'll support me until I make it big as a musician. Because I do have 2 CDs available for purchase on iTunes called Blood Cemetery and Darkened Days. The links are on the About Me page on my YouTube homepage. I'm almost done with The Highway of Life, which is my 3rd CD. I just gotta post to make it the money. And I've started working on my 4th and final CD until I make it big, The Darkness. So, yeah. Actually, for my website, lets me post my music on iTunes and whatnot. I think it's pretty cool, but... And if you notice this, in the great existence of life, the educational system does have flaws in it. You don't fit the corporate cube mold, you're tossed aside like some outdated technology. It's kind of sad, actually. A lot of people who have potential to be amazing citizens and do productive things in our society are tossed aside because they don't learn as quickly as other people should. Because we're in a society of, you've got to have it now, and if it wasn't here 10 minutes ago, they're pissed, you know what I'm saying? It's a fast food mentality, if you will. But anyway, this is God taking over to another video. Like my video, check out my channel, see what you think, and more guitar playing, whatnot. Yeah.